cried. The number of programs involving collaboration between ICE, that's Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and local and state police across the nation is continuing to grow. Today, the National Day Laborer Network, the Immigrant Justice Clinic of the Benjamin Cardozo Law School, and the Center for Constitutional Rights are filing a lawsuit demanding records related to ICE's little-known Secure Communities program. The program further embroils local and state law enforcement agencies in federal immigration enforcement and is already operating in 168 jurisdictions in 20 states. Advocates warn that more agreements are anticipated in the coming days and say secure communities require police to run individual fingerprints through multiple databases upon arrest, even if no charges are brought and regardless of how minor the charges are. We, in addition to Congressman Grijalvo, are joined by the person at the Center for Constitutional Rights in Washington, D.C., who is taking on this case, Sunita Patel, staff attorney at CCR. Welcome to Democracy Now! What is the story here, Sunita?
Thank you for having me. First, the story here is that Secure Communities is very similar to 287G and Criminal Alien Program, both of which have been overwhelmingly criticized in the public, in the media, and even by the government itself. What we see in Arizona is a culmination of these types of programs where immigration duties are divested to local law enforcement agencies, and they really must be stopped. Today, we have filed a FOIA lawsuit demanding information and records related to Secure Communities and its relationship to these other programs. Also today, there is the launch of a national coordinated week of action called Uncovering the Truth around local law enforcement and ICE collaboration efforts. There will be events in several cities. I think we're up to 10 or 11 cities with different types of actions, community education events, releases of reports. We really hope that we can raise the profile of these disastrous and dangerous programs.
And can you explain a little more about what the Secure Communities program actually does? How does it further link local law enforcement with federal immigration policy?
Well, what it does is it allows the local law enforcement agencies to check not only the FBI databases, which they've traditionally always done, it also allows them to sync up with immigration databases, which are notoriously unreliable because of errors with data entry, because they just have incorrect information on citizenship status. And so what happens is you have, in the first year, we had 1 million people go through the system. Of those, about 5,900 were U.S. citizens, and there were thousands and thousands of green card holders that were put through the program. And so what happens is you go through this program, then ICE is contacted, and they may authorize the law enforcement agency to issue what's called a detainer and prevent the release of the individual. And so you have this very broad net being cast, and the program is set to be in every state by 2011 and in every jail by 2013. And even though this is an enormous program, there's very little known publicly about it. There's very little available to all of us. And so that is why CCR and Endelin and Cardozo Law Clinic decided to file suit to get this information. There's an urgent need for information related to this program so that law enforcement agencies and local government officials can make the right choices and make the right decisions about the program.
Let me bring Congressmember Grijalvo back into this in the Capitol Rotunda, going bigger to federal immigration reform. You pushed hard to include a public option. Progressives did not get any concession there from President Obama. What do you expect to see from him here?
Well, you know, what happened in Arizona should be an urgency, and I want to tell the people at the center that the FOIA request is very important. We've been focused on 287G and the abuses there, and I think this information will be critical to finally analyzing what the real role is with regard to immigration enforcement in the states and in local communities. We have to pass comprehensive immigration reform. We have to undo this law in Arizona. They're linked, but they're not mutual in the sense that one fight and another fight. What I expect is comprehensive reform. And if it continues to be a discussion in which the primary focus is going to be enforcement, security, and no real path to legalization, which is critical to comprehensive reform to deal with the undocumented that are here, then I think we're going to be spinning our wheels. And we're talking about not getting the public option in healthcare. I think it's a great comparison, Amy, in the sense that if there is no path to legalization that begins to deal with the reality of people here, then I think that we're going to be spinning our wheels. We're going to end up with something that is watered down, that it will not deal with the problem that we're having in Arizona and won't deal with the problem we're having in communities across this nation.
Congressmember Rogahava, thank you very much for joining us from the Capitol Rotunda, co-chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, and Sunita Patel, staff attorney for the Center for Constitutional Rights, also joining us from D.C. That does it for today's broadcast. Democracy Now! Produced by Mike Berkshire, Federico Aramante, Angela Comet, Steve Martinez, Nicole Salazar, Hani Masood, Rabi Karen, Mike DeFilippo, Peter Curries, Miguel Noguera, our engineers. Special thanks also to Becca Staley, Julie Crosby, Karen Ranucci, Nick Gilla, Hugh Grant, Samantha Chambly, Jessel Noor, John Gerberg, Vesta Godars. I will be speaking in Eau Claire, Wisconsin on Wednesday night, Thursday night, Stanford University, Friday night, University of California, Davis. On Saturday, I can't even remember where I'll be. On Saturday, I'll be in San Francisco, and on Sunday, speaking here in New York City. You can go to our website at democracynow.org for all the details of the tour and sign up for Twitter there and read our transcripts and go to our video and audio podcasts. I'm Amy Goodman with Shrifat Okudus. Thanks for joining us.